What's going on, guys? It's Chef. So we finally got some information. We had a rumor or a good idea of when we thought the new season Reloaded would end up coming out. It turns out that it is definitely December 14th. They're gonna end up having, like, I guess a blog post. I assume that's when we get the, you know, Honey Badger and when we get Shipment. And that's basically what this whole thing is. Once I get to Shipment, people are asking me, like, why I'm not grinding that hard at the moment, because every time I get into games with people, they're like, oh, that's not him. He would be level 250, because I'm not level 250. I'm 150. Very, very behind. I like this game, but I honestly think that Shoot House is probably the best map on this entire game still. And this map is, on this game, honestly, like a 6.5 out of 10. Maybe a 7, but that feels a little high to me. There's a lot of other maps I'd rather play, but on this game, it's the best one. So at this point, again, I'm waiting for Shipment, which will be completely fine because that'll speed up the entire process for the whole, you know, mastery shit that I'm doing anyway. We want as many engagements as possible. The only thing we'll be missing at that point, once Shipment is in the game, is like a permanent Shipment 24/7 playlist, because I don't want Shoot the Ship, because I don't want to sit there and fish through all of these maps again. Just making the map a simple square. Don't add any shit into it. Nothing. No ideas, just a square. It's already an 8 out of 10. You couldn't have made any mistakes with it. This game has better pacing than Modern Warfare 2019, but the maps are about, I'd say that they're slightly better. Of course, they got definitely a different design philosophy to them, so to say that they're the exact same it's not fair. The images that are going around of Shipment are, it's kind of just like on an actual ship, right? And it seems like it's kind of dark outside. I'm really hoping that the colors aren't going to be too harsh on the map. Like, for example, over on Modern Warfare 2019, I remember that there was an issue and a big complaint about the glare from the sun on Shipment. Also, obviously, everyone knows the Vanguard sun was crazy as well. But back on Modern Warfare 2019, there was a problem where, like, the sun was super, super bright, and I remember that they ended up adjusting it. And also, the way that I'm thinking about this on this game, even with the options turned down and stuff, maybe it'll make it a lot better, but I'm imagining, like, the sun with, like, a crazy lens flare. Not really a sun, it's actually, like, a white spotlight, the usual things you would see on, like, giant cargo ships and shit, shining down, like, real harsh onto a wet surface that is also reflective. Like, I don't want the map to hurt my eyes.
Okay.
It seems like it's the original layout, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. I'll definitely want to play a lot more when I just don't even have to use my brain at all. There's no thinking, it's just all about progress. Okay. Awesome. Oh yeah, by the way, yesterday I uploaded a video on the Callisto Protocol. The game is insane. It's so ridiculous. I know that it has like a bunch of negative reviews over on PC, but they are just like performance issues and stuff. And of course, that's something that, you know, you should note, but I don't think it deserves all of the negative shit that's being said about it at all. Overall, I think the game is awesome. Atmospherically, it looks great. Graphically, it looks amazing. The combat is satisfying. Voice acting is great. The casting is awesome. Like, of course, it's not a perfect game, and the performance problems are definitely like really bad, but I have a pretty crazy rig and it was still giving me issues. It wasn't unplayable, and I mean like actual real issues, not just like, oh, complaining about FPS or some shit like that. I mean like hitching and freezing and not even launching to begin with and all sorts of weird things that were going on with it. But what the? Like, I'm not doing anything. Part of the reason why I'm not just, like, spamming the game, because it's just simply not possible for me to spam the game. It was crazy how, like, consistent the game was during the Orion grind. I wasn't crashing at all. But as soon as Warzone 2 came out, the crashing just never stopped. There's actually a UFC card tonight, and honestly, like, it's kind of stacked. I'm surprised that more people aren't talking about this shit. Main event is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the Karate Kid, against Kevin Holland. I mean, immediately looking at that fight in my head. Now, again, no, whenever I say who I think is gonna win, this is not, it's literally a guess, just like anybody else's would be a guess. Some are more educated guesses than others, but fighting is also a crazy sport. Upsets happen and people are proven wrong all the time. I'm honestly even surprised that this card is actually a fight night. Like, looking at it, there's a lot of names on here and a lot of really good matchups. Co-main event is Brian Barberina versus RDA. Brian Barberina, definitely a lot newer of a fighter than RDA is. RDA is considered a legend, longtime fighter. He's literally fought every single person he possibly could. As much of a legend as he is getting a little bit older, and Barberina tends to be kind of like he's kind of a brawler. Like, it seems like he activates when he gets into like brawls. So I don't know if RDA is gonna allow it to become a brawl. I think RDA will still win this fight, but I don't think that, like, a lot of people are picking RDA in here, and I don't think it's that one-sided. Why is it every single lobby I'm joining, we're getting like smashed, man? It's actually unplayable. Shit, I would have just went full-blown into that Callisto Protocol shit for the time being, but every single one of those is just age restricted. Dude, come on. It's not even like... I didn't even show, like, the worst parts of the game. I purposefully edited out some of the more graphic deaths and parts of the game, and it's still age restricted. That's crazy. There have been so many times I would have the game running, and then I would just leave it right here. I would tap out, I would go do something, I would get up, go take a shower, something, go watch some shit, whatever. And then I will come back to just the crash screen with the error. Somebody said to try to turn down, I don't know if this works or not, but I mean, I'm desperate at this point. Somebody said to take the video memory scale and move it down. The thing is, I literally could have nothing running at all, just the game, and it still crashes anyway. It does not matter. But I think the default memory scale was 80 or something like that. Let's try to set it to like 70 and see what happens. See if it crashes anymore. I don't know how that affects the performance exactly, but I know that this basically is just making it so there's more space for other programs to run. If it's crashing anyway, with or without other programs being open, I don't think it's the memory scale issue at all. But if it fixes it or reduces it in any way, then we're just gonna keep doing it until it's fixed. Feels like they might be using Brian Barberina to kind of test all of these older fighters out still. And then he'll be able to have like a resume, you know, of saying that he's finished all of these guys even though they were older or whatever. But there's just certain fighters that do that. I think RDA is absolutely the better fighter, but because of age and shit, it makes me question it. RDA should win though. Game almost crashed there, but did it? Did the video memory scale actually do something? I don't know, but I'm getting my ass whooped. I ain't gonna find out in that game. The one that I'm most excited for, but really scared for and kind of sad, but I'm excited for it still. Tai Tuivasa versus Sergey Pavlovich. Everybody knows I love Tai Tuivasa, man, but didn't think he was gonna have a good time against Cyril Gane, and he really did not have a good time against Cyril Gane. Now, he did have a bright moment against Cyril Gane where he ended up actually knocking Cyril down and landing some good shots on him. Put Cyril Gane in more trouble than he's ever been in, and that deserves a shit ton of credit. It deserves to be noted. I didn't think he would touch him at all. And for the most part, he really did it. But Cyril Gane is an insane striker with crazy attributes. Anyway, Tai didn't have a good time and he took a lot of damage, and that wasn't that long ago. And now he's going into a fight that, in my opinion, is even more dangerous because Pavlovich is definitely more capable of doing really, really bad damage very quickly. Pavlovich hits very, very hard. Pavlovich also has an insane reach. I think Pavlovich actually has the largest ape index in the entire UFC, meaning his height to arm length ratio is the highest in the UFC. For his height, his arms are the longest. He's 6'3" with an 84-inch reach. John Jones has an 84.5-inch reach, but he's like 6'4", 6'5". So Tai already was having an issue with reach. But Pavlovich is a way different fighter than Cyril Gane. Both of these guys are gonna trade. It's heavyweight, anything can happen. One good punch, Pavlovich could go out. I could totally see Tai Tuivasa actually folding him. But Tai has to get inside first. He has to get inside that massive reach, which has way more devastating power than he was used to fighting against with Cyril Gane. He was able to sit there and bang with Derek Lewis. But if you've seen any of Sergey Pavlovich's fights, you would see that he also whooped Derek Lewis. Now, some people were saying potential early stoppage, but I don't think that was gonna go any better. Jack Hermanson, Roman Dolidze. Hermanson's got that. I think Hermanson's wrestling and shit will just be too much, like usual. Eric Anders, Kyle Dawkins. I guess Dawkins will win that. Nico Price is against Phil Rowe. I mean, Nico is a warrior and everything, but Nico has also taken a lot of damage. He gets in wars all the time, but I don't know if he can afford to get into a war with Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe is a very, very powerful dude. That one feels dangerous. Michael Johnson is on here on the undercard against Mark DeCasey. Mark DeCasey is actually supposed to be a striker, but he's wrestled in his past 2 fights and like really, really well. So Michael Johnson doesn't really do well against that. It's so weird. I want Michael Johnson to win his fights. It's so strange. I want him to win, but I just don't think he'll win this one. We haven't crashed yet. Then again, we've only been through like 1 game. So the main event, I think I'm gonna pick Kevin Holland. I think that Wonder Boy is the better striker. I think he's the more decorated striker, but I don't know if he'll be able to actually get out of the way of Kevin at this point. Steven is 39 years old. He's almost 40. They both were agreeing and happy that they were finally able to be in a striking matchup against each other. They both got wrestled and they were both very frustrated with being held down, so they both wanted a striking matchup. They both got that. The thing is, I just feel like that plays into Kevin a little bit more, at least. It's just bad, man. And then just like seeing Frankie Edgar get put out with like absolutely no remorse. Yeah, I don't know. I think Kevin Holland will be a little bit too fast, explosive, and like long and overwhelming. I just feel like Kevin will just manage to clip him with something that is just like he just couldn't avoid. It's strange. I want Wonder Boy to win, but I just feel like Kevin is gonna win. Can they both win and everybody will be okay, but have like a good fight? I'm asking for too much. I think Kevin wins the fight though. I'll let you guys know if I get any more crashes with lowering the video scale. Maybe that works. We'll see.